Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what time it is where you are, but right now it is time for more insight. This is insight you can trust because there is more where it came from. I'm your host, Chris Moore. Today with me, y'all, I got a special guest. By the way, make sure y'all follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you comment, all that good stuff. Tell you every week, we're trying to build a community. We're trying to build some good things over here, and I need your help to do that. But today, I got a special guest with me. This is a man who wears a lot of hats. He's a comedian, writer, podcaster, actor, and trust me, he's sharp in all of them. You've seen him packing out rooms on tour. His latest endeavor, he's an ambassador for Savage Fenty. That's right, he's out here repping comedy, culture, and style all at once. Clint Coley is in the building. How you doing today?
Yeah. What's up, man? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know you've had some interesting stories with being an ambassador for Savage Fenty, but how did it come about and what has the response been since you've basically been viral?
Uh, well, it came about because, long story short, my wife on Threads posted if I bought Clint some Savage X Fenty stuff, would he wear it? And I
Mm-hmm.
said, hell yeah, I wear some Savage Fenty draws. You kidding me? Then I put
Yeah.
them on and I was like, yo, these the best draws I've ever felt in my life. I said I felt like a bad bitch. I made that video and I was just joking and talking shit. And the next thing you know, somebody from Savage Fenty reached out, and then that's the short story. But yeah, somebody from Savage Fenty reached out, and the rest is history.
That's how it's supposed to be, man. That's how it's supposed to be. Organically, it
Yeah,
just happened to be a deal.
yeah,
So kudos to you for that. The
appreciate it.
basis of this whole conversation. I follow you on Threads. Lately, you've been talking about rent was due, and you associated with a year and an artist. So I said, you know what? Let's actually build a show around it. I pitched it to you, and we there. So typically, 3 on 3 is what I call the segment when I do it with other people. It's 3 questions. You give me your top 3 answers. Instead of it just being a segment today, we're just going to we're going to build the show out for that format. So we have 3 topics. We're going to go through these. If you want to elaborate, you can. If not, it's all good. We'll see what happens. So the first category, we're going to go top 3 WWE theme songs.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm good with that. But real quick, before we get into it, I just want to explain why I've been talking about the rents due.
Please.
Basically, it came from the idea that I'm filming my next comedy special next year. My last one did really well, but you know, in between that time, a lot's happened, and I've struggled and failed a lot in this business in the last since that special was filmed in 2022. And yeah, man, like for me right now, the rent is due. And to me, it's about when an artist or a player or anybody who does any type of performance buckles down, locks in, and says, you know what, man, I'm about to give y'all the best performance, the best anything that I'm giving in my life. So as I was riding down the street one night, I did not know what I was going to call it until I was listening to Tony Braxton's Love Should Have Brought You Home last night. I was high. And I'm like, this bitch is singing like the rent is due. And I'm like, that's the name of the special. Rent's due, because that's exactly how I feel. That's exactly where I've been. That's exactly what I'm on. And like I said, or like I told you off camera, saying the rent's due or consistently saying the rent's due, that mean, for me it's a breadcrumb. You know what I'm saying? It's me like basically consistently, letting everybody know like, okay, you're going to every time I turn around, I'm going to be telling y'all the rent's due. How, why, when, who, and either you understand or you don't. So that's where it
If you
came
know,
from.
you
Just
know.
want to throw that out there. Yeah,
If you know, you know. Uh, I
but
love
yeah,
that mindset. I love that mantra. It's something that I'm even going to take into my mindset now. Like rent's due. Hey man, I got a kid. I got a wife. Like
yeah, like
rent's
you got
due.
shit to do, man. It's
Yeah,
bigger than you.
absolutely, man.
It's bigger than you.
The first category we're gonna go into
Wrestling theme songs, right?
wrestling theme songs. What you
All
got?
right.
I'm gonna let you go first.
So first, man, I grew up in the '90s. You know what I'm saying? I'm 30. I'm 38 years old. When we say, sometimes we say best. I don't know if there's a best theme song, just because everybody's theme song was specific to who they were. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't have a theme song. It was specific to who you were. And I'm gonna tell you this: when I was growing up and I heard Glass Break, when I heard Glass Break, to me that meant like somebody was getting ready to get their ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? I think that's probably the best part of the song is the glass
Yeah.
breaking, right? I don't even think we, the actual instrumentation, not that it's ass or nothing like that, but I don't give a fuck about all that. It went along with it. Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, no doubt about it. I think it grabs your attention immediately. Anytime that, things was going on in the crowd or, things was going on, everybody stopped what they're doing soon as they heard glass break. It was like glass broke, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Stone
Walking to
Cold
the
is my favorite.
ring, he getting to talking. It's like,
Yeah,
oh man, it's going down.
right,
Yeah,
right.
man.
The second one I'm going to say is the D-Generation X theme song. I think it was
Cool.
very catchy. I think that whoever made the song, or again, it was tailored towards them, right? Like it was a very futuristic sound. It was very, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Those theme songs, now that I think about it, made black kids like rock music. You know what I'm saying? This is rock music, bro. Like this is
Legit.
shit you don't normally listen to, but you listen to the DX music, you like, God damn, this shit kind of slaps. You know what I'm saying?
It opened up the door. Yeah.
Right. And then my third favorite or my third best, I'm gonna go Shawn Michaels theme song. I think that that's how talking shit really began. Not in the WWF, but in theme songs. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy is narrating his entire music. You know what I'm saying? And even before glass breaking, right? When you heard, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, it was business. So yeah, I'm gonna go Shawn Michaels, I'm gonna go D-Generation X, and I'm gonna go Stone Cold Steve Austin. And as a side, of course, The Rock is, up there, but those three are my favorites.
Okay. Great list, by the way.
Thank you.
My whole thing is when I listen to these lists, I listen and I don't judge. We actually have one in common. Shawn Michaels is on there for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And with me, it's always a story. There's a feeling attached to why I have these songs selected. I remember being like in elementary school and kind of having like low self-confidence, not knowing who I was, freaking in elementary school. And I remember Shawn Michaels' music playing and then just hearing those words, I was like, hey, I'm that dude too. Like, and of course I'm light skinned with light eyes. So I had girls telling
Sexy
me I was
boy.
cute or whatever. I'm a sexy boy.
You sexy
So
boy.
that's why I had Shawn Michaels up there. My second one, I'm going to Break the Walls Down by Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho.
Like you said, with these wrestlers, that was the entryway to rock music for us. My third one is actually more of a new one. I'm going to go with the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. It's just something about those theme songs that he has, more specifically these last two. It's just aura, man. It's just vibes, it's aura. I've seen clips of the arena packing out and everybody like pointing up to the sky to acknowledge the Tribal Chief. So I'm going to go Roman Reigns. I mess with Roman. If I had to add a smaller caveat, I'm stuck between Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix, which was played for Hogan.
Yeah, so I can't count that. Just because like
That's a real song.
That wasn't meant for Hollywood Hogan, right? Like
True.
that was
Okay.
Jimi Hendrix in his purest form, right? And also,
For
let's
sure.
be real, man. Fuck Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? Like
Legit. That's why I
Hogan.
said, yep.
Yeah, fuck that nigga, bro. And he got the nerve to use a black man. Yeah, fuck him, man. And
Hey, man.
no, but but even if Hogan was cool with us or whatever, man, like I can't count that just because it was already a song. Jimi Hendrix didn't even know who the fuck Hulk Hogan was when he made it. So
Right.
I
would probably have to substitute that for Razor Ramon then.
Razor Ramon's theme music was really underrated, yo.
Highly
like
underrated.
it wasn't WWF at the time wasn't really like pushing theme music like that just yet. But he has very underrated, like, Chico music, you know what I'm saying? And of course, this shit, and you know what I mean? Like, and I remember back in the day, man, he's so cool, man. Nigga used to hand the motherfucker his gold change and then throw a toothpick at him, like, don't you fuck this up.
You peasant.
Yeah, man. So yeah, all right. Definitely. Razor Ramon's music is underrated, if you ask me. Very underrated.
Okay. So because we just talked about those theme musics were the gateway to us liking rock music, let's go into what I like to call white noise. These are our top 3 white albums, you can call them, or you can do artists, but the rent is due.
The rent was always due for Justin Timberlake.
Oh yeah.
I think after his third album, well, no, not anymore, but Justin Timberlake's first 3 albums were absolutely incredible.
For
He
sure.
locked in with, and that's another thing, right? Like people don't realize locking in with producers is so important and so key when it comes to the rent being due, right? Because that person either knows who you are, knows your sound, knows what you like, knows what you don't like, you know. And multiple times, especially with the final 2 albums, the Future Sex Love Sounds and
2020.
2020 experience. Yeah, he locked in with Timberland, and it was magic that was made. You know what I'm saying? The first album, you know, it was mainly Timberland and Pharrell. A lot of those songs that Pharrell gave him, people don't know this, but Michael Jackson turned those down.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So yeah, Justin Timberlake, absolutely, the rent was always due for him. Even when he was in NSYNC, the rent was due for him. But once that man went solo, it was a problem. Absolutely,
It was a problem. It was Michael Jackson leaving the Jackson 5. Not on that level, because I'm not gonna call it
Yeah, I
Jay-Z
can't
Michael
say,
Jackson.
but I
I
get what
ain't,
you're saying. Yes,
yeah.
he was. It's the idea that leaving a group and being a successful act is not easy to do.
Exactly.
There's only a few artists in history that actually successfully did it, and he is one of them. And there's a short list. So we're him, Mike, Beyonce, like very short list of people who left the group and was probably bigger when they left the group. I can argue Bobby Brown, but that's kind of a murky situation just because of, but that's a whole nother conversation. So there's that. My second white person where the rent was due. I don't think that she ever had an album that made me feel that way, but every time I heard Tina Marie sing, she sang like the rent was due. Tina Marie always had a chip on her shoulder because, you know, let's be real, right? Like now you stepping into an R&B space. And I'm gonna be real, like anybody trying to hear that from no white girl, you know what I'm saying? So it's like if you white, you better know how to sing your fucking ass off. And Tina Marie did that time and time again. So to me, the rent was due for her. And then last but not least, I'm trying to think. I don't know if the rent was due for him, but this is my favorite album by him, and it's called The Divine Feminine by Mac Miller. That to me is his best project. It's one of my favorite projects he's ever put out, but I don't know if it's necessarily a classic album in the grand scope of how I deem a classic album. But what I will say is he did lock in on that album. Great stuff. So that's my 3.
I would even say to that Tiny Desk performance.
That was different though, just because because of the timing, right? Because it was like the Tiny Desk performance happened, and then you know it was kind of like it was a succession. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, not to say that his Tiny Desk performance wasn't great, but it's like it was even bigger because of we didn't know that this man was struggling, and you know, rest is history.
Okay, I'm gonna go with NSYNC. The rent was always due with them. Shouts out to JC, who I think was the bigger artist or should have been the biggest artist than Justin Timberlake, but he just didn't have the production. And I would even say he didn't have the looks. JC washes Justin Timberlake on a lot of songs. Is that too aggressive?
I think here's the thing, right? I think we do this a lot with artists, right? We talk about washing who does this and who does that, especially in the group. The thing was that in NSYNC, they had a certain dynamic, right? So it's not about, you know what I'm saying? Like they had a certain dynamic, right? And, you know, certain people sound better singing certain stuff, right? What makes me mad is that we always try to give artists or take artists away from artists because it's like, well, he had the production. Well, let's not act like JC didn't have the same resources that Justin Timberlake had, right?
Very true.
He had the same resources. Let's not act like they both were like, you know what I'm saying? Like he had the same exact resources. The difference is that Timberland and Pharrell probably saw something different in them that he didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like there's always a reason why something happens. And I think oftentimes we like to, like, you know, it's kind of like sports, right? It's like, oh man, he not that good. It's the coaching. Oh, he not that good. It's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. It's like, bro, like it ain't, no, he is that good. No, people forget Justin Timberlake from Memphis, my motherfucker. Like, come on, dog. Like,
that's where I'm at now.
So I will say, I won't say that he washed him. I will say that they gave him, like he was able to, you know, he fit what the group was trying to do at a certain time in a certain space. So at the end of the day, yeah, and looks does matter, absolutely matters, right? Like, and it's not even about you being cute, ugly, or anything like that. It's about, how are we able to transform you or mold you into a megastar? You know what I'm saying? That's how this works. And let's be real, NSYNC were megastars. So turning Justin Timberlake into a megastar wasn't really that difficult. He had the talent, he had the music, he had this. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was big before Timbaland and Pharrell. Timbaland and Pharrell made him cool with black people.
Point taken. I'm not even mad. I'm actually glad that you gave me that explanation, because that definitely brings some context.
Yeah.
Definitely brings some type of perspective for sure. So yeah, I'll ride with you on that. My second artist, I'm going to go group again. I'm going to go Linkin Park. Medatora is one of those albums that I just love. No skip for me.
Yeah.
And the last one, this is
I mean, you got a lot to
you went
choose.
Tina Marie. I'm going to go Bobby Caldwell.
I don't think the rent was due for him.
You don't think what?
I don't think the rent was due for Bobby Caldwell. I think Bobby Caldwell struck gold. I think he struck oil one time. And, like, let me be real. What has Bobby Caldwell done outside of that song? Whenever you ever heard somebody say, I'm listening to a Bobby Caldwell album, no disrespect to him, but it's just like,
No, for sure.
he struck, like, he's the reason. I didn't say John B for that reason, right? Like, and not to say John B was ass, right? But it's like, these guys really never, like, Bobby Caldwell never really locked in and made no crazy album. Bobby Caldwell made a song. Black people didn't know that it was him. Found out he's white, and it's like, oh, but Bobby Caldwell really would. I can tell the story of R&B and music without him.
Point taken again. Man.
I don't think I'm not, that's no me not trying to be disrespectful to him, but it's like, he gets way too much credit for being the black guy or being the white guy in the black room, and he only put out, he was only really known for one song. Now
that goes into my pet peeve, because I can't stand when we reward white people for doing mediocre things.
I mean, that's life, though. White people always get rewarded for mediocre things. That's life. That's just what it is. They've been getting rewarded for mediocre things since Christopher Columbus.
Did you see the white girl who was doing the Project Pat song?
No, I didn't see that.
But she was basically rapping a Project Pat song, and everybody was like, "Oh, she's invited."
Ate it up. Niggas ate it up. Oh man, she's invited to the cookout.
No, she's not. Stay at home with your potato salad with the raisins.
I'm gonna be real. From now on, the white people, there is no cookout.
Yeah,
there is no cookout. Don't ask me about a cookout. No.
Yeah. I still gotta add a white person in there. Can I go?
No, that's your 90s. White. If you say Bobby Caldwell, I don't think the rent was due with him.
Okay. I'm thinking about 90s Michael Jackson though.
90s Michael Jackson is crazy. And I think that was his worst music, if I'm being real.
You think that was his worst music?
Yo, between 1990 and 1999, Michael Jackson put out his worst music. Yes.
Do you include Invincible in that?
Huh?
You include Invincible in that?
Dangerous. Invincible was 2001. That was 2001. But Michael is the 80s. That's it. From 1979 to 1989, untouchable. That's when things get a little weird and murky. I don't like 90s Michael Jackson at all.
I agree. I do love Dangerous though. Dangerous is my album.
Yeah, I hate it. It's Skip City to me.
Tony Skip Baker season?
Skip City, okay. As Tony Baker would say. Yeah, I skip everything on Dangerous. I'm not a...
All right. Let me ask you this. Are you a 90s R&B guy or 2000s R&B guy?
Both. It's hard to choose one, right? Because both gave different things, right? Like 90s R&B, again, I'm a child, right? So, I mean, a lot of these songs, they hitting, but it's not hitting like that, right? Because I'm 7 in 1994, so I don't really know what Mary J. Blige is really going down for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then you hit the 2000s, now I'm having sex, you know what I'm saying? And I'm in a different space, and music hits differently. So I would say, I can't say I'm either or. I could say I'm both, because 90s R&B has a special place in my heart just as much as 2000s does.
Okay. So we're basically on the same page. I've always told people I identify more with 2000s than 90s, but that doesn't mean I'm taking 2000s over 90s completely.
Right.
So, okay, I'm with you. And like you said, like with 2000s, life done tapped into a whole nother aspect for us as men. Hormones raging, we dating, we having sex.
Yeah, I'm eating pussy in the 2000s now. Like,
I can relate to these songs now.
Yeah, I'm in a different, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm in a different space, man. I'm getting my heart broken,
bruh.
I ain't get my heart broken in the 90s. Not like 2000s.
I remember being in 10th grade when I Need a Girl came out with Usher and Diddy.
Yeah,
Bruh.
hold on. That was what? That was 01, 02?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in I was 9th, 10th grade around that same time. Damn.
I graduated 04.
Okay, so I graduated 05. So that makes sense.
Yeah, we here.
Yeah, so I remember that like it was that was 01 for sure. I remember that like it was yesterday. Like I remember the album it was on. I remember the video. I remember I thought part 1 was better than part 2.
Oh, for sure. I'm on that same.
People don't realize part 1, the one with Usher, is actually the second one. There's an original version of I Need a Girl.
Yes.
Then there's the one with Usher, and then there's the one with Mario Winans and Genuine.
Yeah. Wasn't a huge fan of that one.
Not at all. Me neither.
Bro, I ain't gonna hold you. We're talking about the musical side of Diddy. Diddy had me, I don't even want to say a chokehold. That just sounds inappropriate these days. But Diddy's music had a grip on me.
Diddy's faction, right? Like Diddy had a faction, right?
For sure.
Like
because now I'm thinking about Trade It All with Fabulous.
Bad Boy Records is essentially the music version of D-Generation X.
Yes.
You had a leader. You had other guys in the crew that was making good stuff, doing good stuff. You know, you got Shawn Michaels. Triple H was like right there, who was the underboss, or just you know what I'm saying. And then of course you got X-Pac, Road Dogg, Jesse James, and Badass Billy Gunn, all won championships. We talking intercontinental championships, and we're talking tag team. We're talking European, right? You know, every once in a while, probably the hard Road Dogg Jesse James was a hardcore champion a couple times. You know what I'm saying? I say that to say, you got Diddy, who's the leader. Mace had already left. Big had already died. But now you got guys like Carl Thomas. Oh, and the Locks had left at that point too. But you got Carl Thomas. You got Loon. You got Faith. You got all these other components where Diddy's, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, he had his faction was very popular in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Absolutely. So I think that leads us down this road here. Let's do Rent Was Due 2000s albums. I was going to do 90s versus 2000s, but I think 2000s is better.
The first one that comes to mind, you talk about hip hop or just R&B?
Either or.
Well, the first one that comes to mind if we're talking R&B is Mariah Carey, 2005 Mariah Carey, The Emancipation of Mimi. And I'm actually going to do an entire podcast episode about just that album in general. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Mariah Carey is coming off of what Glitter and Rainbow and all that other bullshit, and now real Mariah fans are still hanging in there with her, but the general public, we are off Mariah Carey. We're done.
She went mainstream.
We're done. We're like, you're over. And people don't realize too, right, how successful Mariah Carey really was. Mariah Carey had a #1 song every year of the 90s.
Yes.
From 1990 to 1999, Mariah Carey had a #1 song each fucking year. Then, again, it kind of stalls out and she's doing too much and she's here, she's over here, she's doing this. And then people forgot how cold this woman really was. And when she dropped The Emancipation of Mimi, what she did was lock the fuck in with Jermaine Dupri. And decided, okay, y'all say I'm done. Okay, hold my beer. I got something for y'all. And I mean, the product was incredible, incredible. The second person that comes to mind on the R&B tip is right behind her in Mary J. Blige, 2005. Mary J. Blige, the album, The Breakthrough. Again, she had came off of I think Love and Life. With that shit was okay. Before that, it was No More Drama. That shit was okay. We don't like Healed Mary. We like Angry Mary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And again, that song, we've been too strong for too long. And I can't, nigga, that woof. Lord. You know what I'm saying? So, Mary J. Blige, the Breakthrough, and then last but not least, and I'm sticking, all these albums came out in 2005, if I'm being honest too. That the reason why I'm so gung-ho on that year, just because that's the year I graduated high school, and those probably formulated my best memories in life. And then last but not least, 2005 Common B, the rent was due. I think that people want to say that, Like Water for Chocolate is a classic album. I don't agree, but I don't disagree, but I really don't agree. It's not I think it's a shade below it, but again, I'm not, I'm not arguing up and down about it, but I think he had just came off of Electric Circus. That shit was ass. And, Common is one of those. At the time, he's a backpack rapper, right? Like at the time, he's one of those guys where he's him, Quali, Raucous Records. Like he's in that. He's with them niggas, right? And he locked in with Kanye West, and the rest. Honestly, that changed the trajectory of Common's career. Common became not just a household name. Common became a star after that. Common was already a hip hop artist who was like cemented. His legacy, he was cemented as a dope rapper. Jay-Z said, if lyrics sold, I'll probably be lyrically time live probably. Matter of fact, I want to rhyme like Common since 5 mil. I ain't been rapping like Common.
Common sense.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like but he's getting his flowers from other rappers. But now he's getting his flowers from whoever else, because at that time Common, changed. He changed. He got with Kanye, and it changed his career. And the rent was
and
good.
Even to that point, Common at that point was he was your favorite rapper. If we're doing 2000s, I gotta go off the top. Usher Confessions.
I mean, we don't even.
I mean, it's a given.
I'm gonna. You know what? I told you this is your list, but come on, dog. Like that's like,
so
yeah, like easy. Come on, bro. Like that's like saying like who's the greatest basketball player in the '90s? Like, come on, bro. We ain't gotta have this conversation.
I got you.
Like we like, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful sense, right? I just know
not taking.
We're talking about Confessions is one of the greatest albums ever. We're not talking about
Absolutely.
just hip hop R&B. Like we're talking albums, period. Right? Like in the history of music, Confessions is somewhere. It's in the Library of Congress. So yeah, man. Come on.
I got you.
Come on.
Man. All right. So I got 3 more. Chris Brown. His debut album actually came out in 2005.
Yes, I remember that. I think it was 03, actually. It wasn't. No. Yes, it was 05. Yes, because no. I'm older than Chris Brown by 2 years. Yes. It was 05. Yes. Run It. And I think, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
I actually got broken up to one of the songs on Chris Brown's album.
Which one? Goodbye?
No, this girl broke up to me with Your Man Ain't Me. Cold-blooded.
Damn. That's tough.
Cold-blooded.
That's tough.
Which is hilarious because at the time I didn't have a car. And she ended up talking to a dude that had one.
That's how it be. That's how it be.
Man. Hey, all good. Another one. I'm gonna go Neo. That first Neo album is.
Hey, bro, that was the soundtrack to I think it was my freshman year, because that joint came out in like 06. But my freshman year of college, man, I remember. Yeah, you know what I mean? Gotta change my answering machine. Nigga, what?
Yeah, you don't know Heartbreak until you got them songs on repeat.
Yeah, that joint was fire. That album was fire.
Here's one. And because of the today of things, I appreciate her more. I'm going to go Alicia Keys, the second album, Diary of Alicia Keys.
Let me tell you something, man. Alicia Keys, I got a real weird take. Alicia Keys and John Legend are the same person.
Absolutely.
They're the same person. If you remember, Alicia Keys' first 2 albums were out of here. John Legend's first 2 albums, out of here. Bangers. And then what happened was they got corny. Alicia Keys got corny. Like it was like, I don't even know how to explain it, but she got corny. And John Legend got corny as well. Like it was almost like, okay, but nonetheless, yes, the rent was due for Alicia Keys and John Legend. And I think that what pisses me off, especially about Alicia Keys, is because of how much women don't fuck with her like that no more. But it's like, stop acting like this woman don't got like accolades.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I agree with you. They're literally the same person. All of a sudden they were good, and all of a sudden they just jumped off a cliff. I don't know what happened. You know what? I'm going to add one more person to that same list. Musiq Soulchild. His first few albums, bangers. After a
Music
while,
Soul Child he was consistent throughout the 2000s. I don't think that he was consistent, meaning he had his first album dropped in 2000, and I believe I think in that decade he had about he had 4 albums in that decade, maybe 5, but I know 4 for a fact. And it was just, he was consistent. He was consistent. He was kind of like, I'm trying to think of a wrestler who was never like the man, but was always like consistent, gave good matches or had good aura about him. He never made it to like the main event guy, but he was always a great like intercontinental champion. He was a great like
Razor Ramon.
He was Razor Ramon in WWE.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's not gonna get too out of himself. He's not gonna do too many crazy things.
Yeah, he just
but there's
did what
something that just
he
keeps
did
him.
what he was supposed to do. Music Soul Child was consistent.
Okay. Well, that wraps up The Rent Was Due. I appreciate your list. Good information, good insight. So I think we had some good conversation there. But we'll close out on these last couple of questions. Shedeur Sanders is under fire with his last press conference, if you will. Didn't say much. What's your take on the Shedeur Sanders situation?
I think he's just immature. I think he has. I think the people support him, and I support him too. Like, I want him to win and do well, but he's not doing himself any favors. I think that he needs to really just buckle in, lock down, and play football. All that other extra shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And I think he allowed that stuff to matter, and it unfortunately it cost him. So I think he just needs to play football. That's my take. Play football, bro. Earn a spot, play football, win.
He needs to have the mindset that we have right now.
The rent's due.
The rent ain't due for him,
not
obviously.
due. The rent's not due. The rent will never be due.
That's because the mortgage has already been paid.
Multiple times.
Yeah. Definitely should have tightened up. He needs to tighten up. Lock in. Play football, man.
Yeah.
They ask you a question. You can even say no comment. But that's to just sit, just basically mime and all this stuff.
I believe he was mocking Rex Ryan. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like, who cares, bro? Like, just bro. Just play football, man. Play football. That's it. That's where I'm at. Just play football.
You're an Eagles fan. My wife is an Eagles fan. My son, he vacillates between Cowboys because of his father-in-law, or because of my father-in-law, his grandfather, and the Eagles because of my wife. I'm born and bred in Atlanta, but I also love the Denver Broncos. Neither here nor there. In Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, there seems to be a disconnect. Is it the offense? What's going on with AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts?
There's no disconnect between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. There's a disconnect between the offensive coordinator and the offense. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown are cool. They're friends. Of course, when you're working with your friends, y'all work relationships sometimes get strained. But I think that Jalen Hurts is trying to get him the ball. The issue is that the offense is struggling. We have a brand new offensive coordinator. I think this is the 5th or 6th offensive coordinator Jalen Hurts has played in the last 5 or 6 years, right? He had Kellen Moore last year. The year before that, it was I forget who it was, to be honest with you.
I know you're talking about.
The year before that was Shane Steichen. The year before that, it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always been a new person in the building running the offense. So right now, Kevin Patullo and the offense, they're just not on the same page. But they're trying their best to get on the same page.
I agree. Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure you will hear more stories about, there was a receiver there before, Terrell Owens. When he was a distraction, quote unquote, got him out of there. Okay. Great. Good luck to y'all for the rest of the season. I don't hate the Eagles at all. As long as y'all keep killing the Cowboys, I'm all right. Make sure y'all comment. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all tap in with Clint. I hope y'all enjoyed this show. Let's do it again, and we'll see y'all in the future.